How's it going, everybody? And in this video I'm gonna show everyone how to disable your subwoofer if you don't actually have software that comes with your speaker or with your motherboard. That's the key thing to note here. Is a lot of times you'll install software that it comes with your speakers or your sound card, and then it's actually fairly simple to disable your subwoofer because you'll find the setting right in the software. Good news is even if you are not able to download software that comes with your speakers and motherboard, potentially maybe you don't have a sound card like me, which is why I had to figure this out my own self, you're going to need to download the software Equalizer to actually target your subwoofer and disable that. So you're going to need to click the links in my description below to download what is called Peace, but you also need to download the APO Equalizer. So you need to install both of them. Once you install both of them, you're going to need to restart your computer, and you might need to restart your computer a couple times. Once you get into the program, this is what will show. Like, here's the software right there. It's called Peace. For some reason it doesn't have its icon loaded. Once you're able to load into the software Peace, like I say, once you install it, one piece of the software you have to restart. You install another piece of the software, restart, because you need to install both of them. Once you are able to run Peace, you're going to be faced with these settings here. Now, what you're going to do in order to disable your subwoofer, I'm not sure if there are other ways in other settings to go about doing this, but for what works for me and what I did to disable my subwoofer, which let me show everybody, right there. Ah, fuck. See, my subwoofer, it has a little volume knob on the speaker there, but it doesn't change the fact that even if I turn my subwoofer all the way down on the speaker, it's still blasting. It's literally almost pointless to put this knob on my speaker to disable the subwoofer when it's still blasting, because I have it all the way down, and if I don't use the equalizer to actually disable it, it's still blasting. And that's going to be a problem for anybody who lives in a condo, like me. I live in a condo, or an apartment. So my question to these people making these speakers is, why don't they make an option to disable your subwoofer by pushing one button? Why do they got to make us figure this stuff out? And if it wasn't for me releasing a video showing everybody how to disable it, then everyone's subwoofer is going to be blasting. Okay, so enough with the rant. You guys can tell how mad I am about not being able to disable my subwoofer by just pushing one button, like, oh, disable my subwoofer. How hard is that? I mean, if I want to disable my subwoofer, let me disable my subwoofer, right? So enough with the ranting. I'm going to show you guys the settings you need to change in order to disable it. So all you need to do is, once you get into the program, is to pull the three knobs on the far left all the way down. The third one you want to maybe keep about halfway up, because it may distort your sound quality a little, but if you actually just do the back two here, that's going to disable more than most of your subwoofer. And that's literally it. Those are the equalizer settings that will disable your subwoofer. Now, once you have your setting the way you like it, What I recommend if you want to figure out how loud is my subwoofer still bassing out, go and load the YouTube video, the Matrix shootout scene, because that's what I found to be like the loudest, most obnoxious part of my speakers whenever I'm like, you know, using my speakers watching a movie, and then it's like there's no controlling my subwoofer blasting off, right? So what you want to do is go onto YouTube and then load the shootout in the lobby of the Matrix. And then you'll be able to really listen and hear and set that subwoofer to a level that isn't going to distort your sound quality, but it's going to disable the subwoofer. The subwoofer. So I love how, you know, people show how to disable your subwoofer. I mean, I literally had to find this out myself. I mean, I did find this information on another YouTube video, but it didn't exactly explain, like, oh, this knob right here is your subwoofer. They didn't say that. Why can't they say, oh, this knob here is your subwoofer? So that's your subwoofer right there on the very end. Pull those all the way down, and your subwoofer is virtually going to be obsolete. Once you find the setting that you really like, save your preset. I named mine no bass. And anytime you need to disable your subwoofer, load into your equalizer piece and load your preset. So let's say in the daytime that you don't need to disable your subwoofer, you can close the software, revert it back to the way it was, and then your subwoofer's back on. So how much easier would it have been for them to make some sort of button for everybody to push to just, oh, disable my subwoofer, as opposed to, oh, you need to be a sound technician, basically. That's basically how I know this. It's because I just started, like, producing music, and I know that these are the equalizers to your bass, because I know how to equalize my sound frequencies. So hadn't I learned how to equalize my sound frequencies through music production, I would be messing around with these knobs not knowing which one actually controls over my subwoofer, which is why I'm so furious. And I'm like, okay, you know what? I'm making a video to show everybody how to disable your subwoofer, since nobody wants to do it. Nobody knows how to, because most of the time, when you turn your subwoofer all the way down, it's off. I mean, how hard is it to disable your subwoofer when you turn it all the way down? So, enough with the ranting. I didn't mean to rant. That's how you disable your subwoofer. Pull those two at the very end down. And maybe keep this one about halfway, because you'll notice this is where your sound frequency starts going into your actual sound effects and not your bass. But it's still really, really close to your subwoofer settings, which is around these two levels here. So you kind of want it right in the middle. You could even maybe pull it down low, maybe a little bit, because you'll find that you'll get a little bit clearer quality for your sound. Alright, and I hope everybody found this information useful. Just one last thing. I don't know what this setting here is, which this could probably affect your subwoofer as well. So, you know, if you want to turn that down, and if it doesn't affect your sound quality, you might be able to do that. But as long as you have these two down, you basically will be able to virtually disable your subwoofer, which should be an option on any speaker that you buy. I should be able to push a button and literally turn it off. How hard is it? Oh, I want to turn off my subwoofer.